Hello, everybody. Welcome back to How Come. This episode is a blast. I am talking to an icon, a legend, and someone who is stunning inside and out. Johnny Wujek. He is an Emmy Award-winning costume designer and creative director. You may know him from being the creative force and mastermind behind many, many pop idols and artists' red carpet looks, including Katy Perry, Ariana Grande, Mariah Carey, and Nicki Minaj. You also may have seen him creative directing on America's Next Top Model, creating show-stopping looks for HBO Max's Legendary and for multiple world tours. He did Katy Perry's Super Bowl performance and Shakira's World Cup opening and closing performances. The list goes on and on and on and on. Johnny also has a lot of exciting projects cooking up this year, so look forward to that as he is ready to serve up more of his creative genius. This episode is about Johnny's personal life, a massive scandal that changed his life forever, being a young gay kid in Michigan, first hookups, first experiences, relationships, all that really good stuff, and some professional success as well. And you're going to love it. But before we get started with him, okay, so I teased at the end of the last episode that I have a new crush, and it is a young James Spader. I'm obsessed with this man. I am limericking hard over him. I've watched like 6 of his movies, maybe like 7. Insane of me. I've also watched interviews of him, and he's beautiful in interviews. He talks so openly and so intelligently, and a lot of his roles are freaky sex things, and he speaks very like well about freaky sex stuff. So I'm like, maybe he's a freak as well. And yeah, so the ones that I watched were Secretary, that Jordan Searles recommended after she recommended Baby Girl. I did not like Baby Girl. And as I was watching it, I was like, I'm just going to watch Secretary instead. Amazing. Loved it. Then I watched Tough Turf, which is him and a young Kim Richards. Had never seen her in anything either. Awesome. There's a sex scene. Obviously, Secretary has a lot of sex scenes. They're unreal. There's a sex scene in Tough Turf as well. Kim needed a body double, though, because she was 15. Weird, but good that she had a body double. Then I watched White Palace, which is him as a younger guy hooking up with an older Susan Sarandon, and she is a waitress. Hot sex scenes in that. And then I watched Crash, which is the one where they have orgasms from car crashes. And it's so hot. He's hooking up with guys, girls. Like, there's something just awesome about an actor that can show their O face. And it def makes it easier to enjoy yourself to them. And then I watched Pretty in Pink, which I was like, oh, this won't have a sex scene, but he'll still be in it. No, he makes out with a girl, and he sticks his fingers in her mouth, and it's really hot. So if you want to get into it, young James Spader, watch along with me. Also, if you were into Love Island US last year, I realized that him and Rob look very similar. And I had the same feelings about Rob when he was on air. So shout out to James Spader. I love you. I literally almost started crying one day when I was watching these movies because I was like, I can't believe I'll never be able to fuck a young James Spader. And Ben was like, they're there. So yeah, hopefully this passes soon because it's ridiculous. That being said, there are a lot of people on TikTok who are doing like thirst trap videos of James Spader now with like his little blacklist fedora look. And I'm not there yet. But anyway, this episode is about another man that people thirst for, and the thirst is unquenchable. I can't wait for you to hear this episode with Johnny Wujek, so let's get it started.
How come? How come? How come I can't achieve? How come I can't achieve? I'm rolling up my sleeves. I'm rolling up my sleeves. Oh baby, I believe these guests can help. 'Cause I can't do it by myself. I wanna jizz.
Welcome, Johnny.
Hi. We did it.
I can't believe.
Brentwood.
It's been a long time coming. Mm-hmm. We've been edging for years.
Been begging and edging.
And now you're here. And yeah, we're coming to you from my friend Jordan's house in Brentwood. Shout out to Jordan. She did that sorority episode like a few seasons ago.
Thanks, Jordan.
Thanks, Jordan. Love you. Also love you because Jordan works at Jeopardy now, and I got to go, and Johnny's gonna get to go soon.
Yeah, I'm gonna go. It's on my list.
Yeah. Okay, so let's talk about you. You told me a story the other day, and I want to just start with that to kick things off.
Okay. You're talking about the coming out story.
The forced coming out.
Right. The Perez Hilton coming out.
Yeah.
So I moved to LA when I was 20, and this was 5 years in.
Okay.
I was not out and open to the Michigan family or crew yet.
Okay.
LA knew I was flaming in LA.
Hot in Cleveland, flaming in LA.
Exactly. Flaming in LA. That's my podcast.
Yeah.
So this is the time when the OC started, and Rachel Bilson's one of my best friends.
Yeah.
Through Rachel, I met Misha. Shout out to Misha Barton. And she had just broken up with her boyfriend, Brandon Davis.
Oh my God.
And she's like, let's hit a club, you know?
Okay.
So we were like, and this is like when LA nightlife was like popping off, you know, all the good clubs.
Hyde,
Joseph's, Concord, just all the...
Anything I saw on the hills.
Anything you saw on the hills. You probably saw me on the hills.
Ledoux.
We always said Ledoux or Ledon't.
Ledoux or die.
Oh, God. We need to do like a Ledoux reunion.
Let's Ledoux it.
Let's Ledoux it. So we were out at the club, living our best lives. And then we go outside to leave and we get paparazzi'd.
Yeah.
So then like the next day it's all over like the weeklies, you know, Misha Barton's new man spotted out with her new man, you know, blah, 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 blah.
And you're the new man in
I'm
question.
the new man.
Okay.
Yeah, I'm her new boyfriend.
Okay.
Which was hilarious, you know, just like my first tabloid.
Wait, that was your first one?
Yeah, that literally. I mean, there
God.
was moments of styling things of people that I've worked with or things like that, or like a quote. It's like, you know, flared jeans are trending for whatever, says Johnny Wujek. But this was the first, like, I'm in a photo and I'm being paparazzi'd outside.
Yeah.
And I was with Misha. And so, like, it didn't really last too long, the hype of me being her boyfriend, because, Perez Hilton fully outed me. Like, he was like, that's not her boyfriend. That's Johnny Wujek's, like, styles Katy Perry, and he's gay. And so then it was literally, like, that night or the next morning when I get a call from one of my best friends back in Michigan. She's like, so just FYI, like, Perez Hilton said you were gay. And I was like, okay, so I am, you know.
Yeah.
So it was cool. It's kind of like, I wasn't pissed.
Cool is such an interesting
I know.
way to describe
But I say cool because, like, my immediate reaction wasn't like, that asshole, you know. I wasn't like, you know, fuck him. I was like, okay, so this is now my push to tell
people.
everybody back home.
Yeah.
Meanwhile, she told a lot of people immediately before even calling me, come to find out.
Your friend.
Yeah, so it was more like, fuck her.
Yeah.
But whatever, it's just like, whatever. It explained a lot, I bet, to a lot of people back then, because I like had one girlfriend my whole high school career who was like my best friend.
Were there any guys that you grew up with that reached out after the outing?
Reached out and like...
In an
hey,
either
what's up?
supportive or hey, what's up? Or like, what the fuck?
No. And I go home a bunch and I like saw them like all throughout. Like, you know, when I moved when I was 20, I'd come back sporadically a lot to like just see my family and everything and have holidays. And not one was ever weird to me.
Cool.
Yeah, it was so rad. Like they were all just like whatever. And we'd make jokes because, you know, back growing up, you'd be like, oh, that's so gay. And it was like gay meant like that's a stupid shirt or something. And then in the very beginning, they'd be like, oh, that's so gay. And they'd look at me and I'm like, it is. You know, like, it's okay. Like, you don't have to tiptoe.
Yeah, certain things are gay.
Totally. But all my homies back home are just like so legit and, you know.
It's so interesting because when you first told me about the Perez thing, I was like very angry for you.
Mm-hmm.
And it reminded me of like Jenna Lyons got outed in the Post and like she was not ready, you know, and like really didn't like it.
Yeah.
And we just found out Matt Bomer was also outed by Perez Hilton. But like,
it's crazy.
It sounds like he kind of, in his own way, like lifted some kind of thing off of you.
For me.
For you.
Yeah, I mean, like, look, it's no one's place to do that for anyone.
Ever, yeah.
But in my case, he kind of like gave me the extra push.
And also, like, as a gay person, I would just be like, why would you do that to somebody else? Like,
because that's his whole shtick.
Yeah.
Is to just kind of gossip and
be
that.
I know, but like, I wonder what his coming out was. Like, maybe somebody took it from him, so
Yeah.
he's like paying it forward.
Totally. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, there's always a backstory.
Yeah.
So yeah, then it was like emailed the parents. I sent a big email to my parents because I was too scared to call them.
Oh.
And then my mama got it and immediately called,
Uh-huh.
And I have a gay brother who came out when he was 18.
I was going to say, you already had, so like, what was like holding you back?
Just my fears, just my programming of what, I grew up Catholic,
Okay.
from private schools my whole life and just being told that gay was wrong and
Yeah.
you're going to hell
Yeah.
and, all the things. So it's like I grew up thinking that it was wrong and that I was different and that it wasn't normal. And I was like, how am I going to fake this my whole life?
Mm-hmm.
And then coming to LA, I was like, oh,
Everyone's
I'm from the
gay.
Midwest, like a small town in Michigan where it's
Yeah.
like not cool. And you come to LA and you're like, oh, it's easier to just be whatever I want.
Totally.
So,
Or whatever you are.
at that point. Yeah,
Yeah.
exactly. So, my mom called and she was like, so I saw your email, and she was kind of harsh at first because like I said, I have a gay brother. So she's like, how do I have 2 gay sons? What have I done wrong? What about grandkids? Like all those kind of bizarre questions. And I was
Okay.
like, well, you did nothing wrong. You're actually lucky.
Yeah. It's probably in your
yeah.
gene pool, actually.
Yeah. Oh, definitely.
Yeah.
So that didn't last long. I mean, she just kind of got over it. And I would bring boyfriends home and they'd be like, this is John's friend.
Yeah.
And I'd be like, Grandma, this is my boyfriend, know? And my mom would just be cringing.
I have 2 friends who got married and both of their families are super religious and they're straight and they still referred to them as their friends. Like at their wedding. They were
Right.
like, you guys have been such good friends. I'm like,
Right.
they are fucking.
Yeah, totally. It's bizarre. It's
Yeah.
like, it's just, not in their wheelhouse. But it's definitely evolved. I mean, like, my mom has Alzheimer's. She probably doesn't even remember that I'm gay.
You're going to have to come out like
Yeah, I'm
several
gonna have to
times.
I keep coming out. I'm
Yeah.
like, Mom.
Oh my God.
I know.
But were your parents that way to your brother when he came out?
My dad, for both of us, was like the most accepting, loving.
Amazing.
Yeah, like literally, it's going to be a harder life for you, but I love you.
So he's the gay one.
Literally. He is the gay gene.
Yeah.
Actually, no, I think it's more on my mom's
Is that-
side.
yeah.
But yeah, my dad was chill. My mom was even harder on my brother. Yeah. So, 'cause
Right. So that makes it like,
that's why
you're
I
like,
saw that.
I don't want to.
I saw
go
that.
through that.
I was there for that experience. Like
Yeah.
he was talking to my parents about bringing his friend Mike to prom.
Mm-hmm.
And my mom was I was upstairs, like, I come down and they're just screaming at each other. And my mom was like, I just don't understand. Like, why would you want to bring Mike to prom? And my dad's in the other room. He's like, because he's gay, Joanne. Meanwhile, I have a towel wrapped around my head. I'm like filing my nails. I'm like, me too.
Yeah.
I mean, I knew I obviously was at that point, but I was not in no position to
Yeah.
double down.
When did you know?
I knew very early on. I would say probably like 6 or 7.
Oh, great.
I have a bunch of uncles. My mom has a bunch of brothers who are like construction guys and and they had buddies, and they'd all come over after and be drinking beer. And there was a friend of my uncle's. We called him Uncle Phil, but he wasn't our uncle. He looked like Patrick Swayze. He was like beautiful. And I just remember feeling a type of way.
Yeah.
And being like, God, why am I like, he's like, that's a man. I'm like, really?
Yeah.
So at an early age, for sure. So yeah, it was like all through grade school, all through high school, all through like college. And, like I said, I had a girlfriend. I like messed around with girls. And I had a long-term girlfriend who was actually like one of my best friends, which helped.
Yeah.
And we had sex and it was fun and exciting because it was sex, for the first time. But then it was like, okay. And then she finally went away to college and she cheated on me. And I was like, thank God.
Oh my God.
Yeah. One of my buddies was like, she cheated on you. And I was like,
Oh no.
that bitch. I was like, that fucking bitch. And I remember calling her and I was just like, I guess I was upset because it was like betrayed, but I was like, okay, this is how I can break up with her now.
Yeah.
Because she's so sweet and so amazing and so perfect, but I'm not going to be able to give her what she wants anymore. So yeah.
When you were having sex, like how do you get through it if you're not into the person?
It was definitely like, horny teenager.
Yeah.
But then I think it just turned into, this isn't a man,
Yeah.
So, and then it got to the point where I was like, how can I continue this? And then, like I said, she went away to college. So it got easier, less stress.
Yeah. Did you ever poker face her?
What's that?
Like, okay, there's a rumor
Oh my
about
God.
the Lady
I hope she's
Gaga
not
song.
listening.
No. If you are,
Yeah.
you're a lovely person.
We love you.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But the song Poker Face
Uh-huh.
is about like fucking a guy but thinking about a girl.
Okay.
So did you ever?
Yes.
Yeah. Okay.
Definitely.
Yeah.
Like, yeah, 100%.
Okay.
Yeah.
And that wasn't like your first time coming with her.
No.
Okay.
Oh, no. The first time I think I actually like jerked off and came was like in the shower at 8 or 9 with shampoo. And then after it was like, some sort of soap, a Dove bar soap.
Yeah.
And I just remember after being like pissing and it burned from the soap. And I was like, oh my God, I have an STD. Like something's wrong. And I just was like so scared to ask my dad, but I was like, it burns. And he's like, you probably got soap in your dick. And I was like, and that's literally, I think, when my dad was like, that masturbation's a sin, right?
Oh,
and I was like,
but you're
okay.
You're also like, but you know about the soap in the dick. So like
Totally.
clearly you've done it too.
Dad, yeah, literally. I let that one in one ear and out the next. I was like, okay. So once I started jerking off, I was like, there's no stopping me.
Yeah. Let's just switch to conditioner.
Yeah.
Or lotion or something else.
Lotion was a thing.
No more tears.
Yeah, this is no more tears or fears.
Did you have no more tears?
Is that shampoo?
It was like a child's shampoo.
Probably.
Yeah.
It was like a Head and Shoulders house, I think.
It's a little more my generation.
Yeah, right.
Johnny's Gen X.
I was way ahead of that. I'm Gen V. Or no, am I 79? I just looked this up the other day. What's the one before? It's like Jen Anderson. I'm Jen
Aniston.
Yeah, it's like Jen. It's like you're looking.
Oh, wow. It says between 1965 and 1980.
Okay, so I'm Gen X.
You're Gen X.
Cool.
Gen XXX.
Gen Triple X.
Yeah.
That's so cool. I don't even know my blood type, but I know I'm Gen X.
Yeah, well, good.
I know.
If I could Google my blood type, I would love
I
that.
wish there was like an app on the phone where you're just like prick or do something,
I wish there was Prick on Demand as well.
There's OnlyFans. It's kind of the same thing.
Totally.
I mean, Grindr.
Right. So you were like 8 or 9, but you had the thought, this is an STD. Did they have like very comprehensive sex ed in Michigan?
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Oh yeah, we definitely had like sex ed and learned about like all that. I mean, because again, it was a Catholic school and they were like fear.
So it was just like
scare,
don't.
don't have sex.
Don't. Yeah.
Until you're married. Mm-hmm. Yeah.
To a woman.
To a woman.
Yeah. And you were saying that your brother wanted to ask a guy to prom. Did he end up taking him?
No, I don't think he did.
Okay.
Yeah, I remember him only going with girlfriends. But they were all like his like girlfriends,
And do you go to prom with your girlfriend?
Oh yeah, I went to probably 6 proms. I was that guy.
What?
Yeah, I was literally like.
Well, also Johnny's really good at a party.
Yeah, I love a dance floor.
Yeah.
I love to put an outfit on.
Props.
My all props. My high school was an all boys private Catholic next to a all girls private Catholic. So I got asked a lot. Not my school, and then senior prom, I brought my girlfriend.
Okay.
And I styled us. We like dyed our hair matching with like a blonde streak. Like it was a whole thing. We were best dressed.
That's amazing.
Yeah.
Okay, well, this makes a lot of sense because you did a whole prom line for JCPenney.
Yeah.
And you probably had a lot of inspiration for that. But did you ever get to relive your prom? Those things
Kind
that
of,
they
like,
did at Sex and the City
totally,
and
totally.
all that stuff for like older gay people who never got to
Right.
do prom properly.
Love that.
Yeah.
There was lots of talk of things like that kind of in the marketing and PR for like the launch of prom.
Yeah.
But what came about, which was actually really cool, if not cooler, was JCPenney, who I partnered with, they gave us $250,000 to sponsor 5 high schools' proms. So we
Cool.
gave each school $50K.
Okay.
One of them ended up being my high school in Michigan. So it was cool. When we announced it, I flew back to Michigan, surprised the senior class, had my whole the stage directed the whole theater where I took drama class and
Unreal.
and then told them, and they had the best prom ever. And then I went on Good Morning America to announce the other 4 winners.
Yeah.
Which was just so cool. I had the big Ed McMahon check.
I love that.
It showed up and it was like this big, and I was like, no. So my sister
showing
Kim,
like a foot and a half.
Shout out to my sister Kim, who ran to FedEx on Gratiot and printed out
Made it bigger?
Huge. It was Ed McMahon.
Kim.
I couldn't have done it
An
without
icon.
her. Yeah, literally.
I've heard tell about Kim.
I've heard tell.
Was she always really supportive of you guys? Like she seems
Always.
like she, yeah.
Yeah. Always our biggest fans. Like always, like she's the oldest of all 5.
Yeah.
And she's just like the iconic big sister who just like has your back. I mean, she basically like there's pictures of her and I'm a baby and she's a teenager, you know, and she's like holding me and she would change my diapers and do all that. So when our family was very like open and discussive, like we'd have dinners and we'd all just talk, which was really cool. Now like think back about it, and every discussion, sex, religion, like all these things would come up. And I remember, this is like ingrained in my brain, that Kim, we were talking about something and like gay and sex and, you know, sex in the ass. And and Kim's like, well, Oprah said that your butt is an exit, not an entrance. And I just remember our whole family just cracked up and was like laughing. And, but she's never been like anti anything of us. Like she's just supportive and loving.
She's just very pro Oprah.
She's very pro Oprah.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Understandable.
She's like a version of Oprah. Like she does good for so many people in the world, but she just doesn't have a television show yet. Exactly.
Okay, so let me rewind even more, because you're most well known as like a stylist, costume designer. What kind of stuff did you have to do in order to become that? And like, was asking to do those things weird as a quote unquote straight person?
Right. Well, I had to suck a lot of dick. You know, it's LA.
Oh wait, so you didn't start learning like how to put a dress together until here?
Well, no. I mean, like I grew up with 2 older sisters. I had like a gaggle of girlfriends. Like I was in, you know, like I'm very observant. I'm very absorbent.
Yeah.
I am actually.
Yeah.
My grandma Wujek is so fashionable. Yeah. So I just grew up always obsessed with fashion and movies and costume and stuff like that. Never really knew until I moved to LA about what a stylist even was, until I started booking like commercials and doing like modeling stuff. And so it all just kind of spontaneously fell into my lap, really. Like I met a friend whose cousin was a director who we interned on a movie, who's the costume designer hired us as her assistants after. And then we started booking jobs on our own for like no budget, and like just kind of escalated that way to like meeting Katy out one night to like, we're going to make this costume, to like, I'll figure out how to make it. Like I had a sense of style and theatrics, but I didn't know anything technical.
Yeah.
You know, like obviously I know how to like put a dress on and like see, I know what fits and how it looks. So pinning and stuff like that. But it was a lot of just figure out on the fly. At first.
Okay.
Yeah. Like I never had any formal training. I lucked out getting an agent pretty quick.
Okay.
And that was like, they just kept throwing work at me. And so it just literally grew. And like once I started working with Katy, it was like, you know, Nicki Minaj, Shakira, Britney Spears, Ariana Grande. Like at one point I had like all these clients, and I was just like a million assistants and traveling all over the world, you know, in my late 20s, early 30s. And it was so fun and just so exciting and just
insane.
Yeah. So yeah, it just kind of was like a learn as you go.
Yeah. Okay, because I was picturing you as like, you know, in Curb, how there's that little boy that like wants to
I'm
sew.
Obsessed with that episode.
Yeah, and Larry gets a sewing machine.
And,
thank you, Larry.
Yeah, thank you, Larry. I'm obsessed with that.
Me too.
Sarah showed me that episode because I don't really watch Curb Your Enthusiasm, but I love it. The episodes I've seen.
Shout out to Sarah.
Yeah, and Larry David.
Yeah,
that episode, it was just like, that was basically me. You know, that little kid.
But
I never got a sewing machine. Yeah.
Yeah.
No, like
as a kid, you were just like
I watch old
like,
videos and I'd be like, how the fuck did my mom not know? Yeah, she was in denial, really.
Yeah, like if people were putting on.
I mean, I wasn't like a flamboyant. I mean, I guess I was. I mean, I would perform for my family. Like
I was gonna say, like if you're performing for a sleepover.
Yeah. Oh, it was like, you know. Well, my sleepovers with like guy friends I never really had sleepovers with girls.
Oh.
Yeah, no, it was like dudes in high school would all sleep over, you know, like, but yeah, it was more like cousins and dance shows and family productions. And
that's what I mean.
Yeah.
Like I would do Spice Girls performances with my cousins.
Yeah.
In order to gain a sleepover.
Got it.
We'd be like, did we perform well enough?
They're like, you killed it. She can stay over.
They're like, please just stop dancing.
Yeah. We did Thriller. I have like 8 cousins, so we had like the whole cast.
Amazing.
Yeah.
Okay, so you get to LA. How long does it take you to start hooking up with people you actually like?
Well, there were encounters through high school.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, all boys private Catholic high school. I mean, talk about homoerotic.
Yes.
You know, there are other guys in my high school that I know are gay that have come out.
Mm-hmm.
Some of them even have lived in LA, and I've run into them. Or, but there was definitely like, I mean, in like freshman year, we all had a shower together, and it was like, you know, I was terrified because I was just like, don't get hard, don't get like, you know, keep your eyes up, you know, like whatever.
Yeah.
But then I just was like, oh, I mean, they were like guys playing soap hockey, like tackling each other. It was just very like homoerotic fantasy.
Yeah.
Dicks pulled out in class, flashing your dicks in the hallway, like all types of things that kind of was like, I mean, again, we're at a private Catholic school. And it's like our priests and nuns were teachers, and we're like doing
like
these
hit
things.
The dicks with a ruler.
Yeah, it was like very like scandalous, but also like just so hot and fun.
Yeah.
And I remember my junior year, I had like pottery, ceramics, and there was this guy that I always had a crush on. He was like very like Jake Ryan from 16 Candles looking. And my brother Chris was actually, I think it was a sophomore because my middle brother Chris was a senior. And he was very vocal about having a gay brother because at this point, Kenny had come out.
Yeah.
So I think he kind of thought I was the brother.
Okay.
So he felt a little comfortable with me. So anyways, it was like the last day of school, and the ceramics room is all the way in the back of the school by the gym, near the gymnastics mat storage room.
Convenient.
And so we like ended up like we were just, it was the last day, you know, you don't do shit. You're just like dicking around, literally.
Yeah.
And we ended up in the gym locker mat where they store the things, like full jerking each other off. And then I was, meanwhile, I'm like, this guy's going to beat the shit out of me. This is a setup. I'm like terrified.
Yeah.
Also, we're in school. And then it led to like the band room. Like we just kept moving around.
Oh my God.
Because we were like scared of getting caught and whatever. And we ended up down in the locker room, and it was like, that's where we kind of finished jerking off next to each other in like a urinal or something. And then meanwhile, I was like, I'm in love. Like this is everything. He like went off to college, and then it was like the next year, graduation time, and it was like everybody came back and was partying, and he shows up with his girlfriend. And I was just like, oh, he looks so good. And I was just like, hey. And he's like, what's up, man? Like, how you been?
Yeah. That's literally your party for you, Charlie XCX moment.
Yeah.
Like, party for you, party for you. It's you guys, it's a thing on TikTok where basically it's like a party scene where you're crushed by love.
I've been searching for him ever since.
What's his name?
I'm not going to say because who knows, but I'm like, is he like, could he have come out? Is he like married? Like was that even anything? Like, you know?
Yeah.
But I literally search high and low.
Oh my God.
Still, like not too long ago, I just like Googled his name and I was like, that's not him. That's
not
him. You know?
If you are this man and you are listening, DM Johnny now.
Yeah.
When you guys were jacking off, were you kissing at all?
No.
No. Because that would be gay.
There was a lot of like him kind of, it started with him maybe just like pulling out his dick and being like, you know, and I'm like, I was like, what are you doing? Like, whatever. I was like, just again, scared.
Yeah.
And then once I kind of was like, fuck this. I'm just like, this is everything. It was never like a making out type thing. It was like very scandalous, like reach over, like play with our dicks.
Yeah.
Just like, you know, but never like a passionate make out, which would have been so good. My first make out with a man was my best friend back home.
Okay.
Yeah. Who was dating my best girlfriend, and he was just like the coolest guy. He was like he's completely
your best
straight.
girlfriend who wasn't your girlfriend.
Right. She was like my neighbor down the street.
Okay.
And she moved in when she was like 7, and we became best friends. And she dated this guy in high school who was my best friend. And he was like my first like real best friend. Like I had neighborhood friends or whatever, but like in high school, like you have that person. He was that. And so like, I remember like we were just all maybe at my house one night just drinking and whatever. And she might have provoked it, but like he like leaned right in and we like French kissed. And I was like, oh my
Nice.
God. Yeah, I was like, oh my God. And like everyone was around. It was like a laugh moment.
Always.
Yeah, but I was just like, okay. You know?
That was my first hooking up with a girl too, was like people being like, kiss.
Yeah.
And you're like,
Okay. Yeah.
I guess.
Yeah.
I guess I'll kiss.
Yeah. They're like, stop.
Yeah. And I had this guy friend that used to go, if you guys kiss, we'll kiss. Like him and this other guy. And the other guy would be like, don't offer that up.
Yeah, literally.
Like, I don't want to kiss you. And I was like, oh, he really wants to kiss him. Like,
yeah.
and he's married and I don't think he'll ever come out. But
Oh, damn.
yeah, he's probably bi though. So I'm
Right.
sure it's fine.
Yeah.
But
Yeah, at this point,
you
he's
could
like-
just smell the desperation that he was
Right.
like yearning to kiss this boy.
Right.
And meanwhile, all the girls are making out and he's like,
Totally.
but we'll kiss. We'll
Yeah.
kiss. And we're like, it's cool.
Yeah. Why do you think it's easier? It was always kind of like an easier thing for girls to like kiss and be like sexual with each other. And like guys were like,
Patriarchy.
Interesting.
Because like at least when I was growing up and when you were growing up, like it was all male centric porn.
Mm-hmm.
So it's like if girls were hooking up, it was like for the male gaze, you know?
Yeah.
If like girls ask guys to make out, it'd be like, what?
Right.
Why would we do anything for you?
Right.
Woman.
Right. Oh my God. It's definitely like nowadays, it's definitely
No, now
more
it's
common
so,
also for guys. Like,
Yeah.
there's like those guys in Australia who are just like, bro, like they're making out and just like being homies and like,
Yeah.
which is so cool.
everybody on Love Island Australia showers together, all the men.
Amazing. I need to start watching that
That
show.
being said, they don't hook up.
Yeah, exactly. They're just like,
it's
fuck
still
it.
like more
Also, like,
bro
anywhere
culture and
el-
like fratty.
Anywhere outside of the U.S. is just kind of like whatever.
Mm-hmm.
I truly like have experienced that. It's just like nudity, sexuality.
Yeah.
You know, you go to Europe and there's like nudity on mainstream TV.
Yeah.
I remember like one of my first trips to Europe and I like was flipping through the channels. I was like, oh my God.
There's like that naked news show.
Totally.
Have you seen that?
No.
It's crazy. They like strip while telling you the news to like keep you
Brilliant.
interested.
What a great idea.
Yeah.
We're naked right now.
We are.
Yeah.
Oh my God.
Just FYI. Great.
And
tits.
I'm in a straddle
You have
as
great
well.
tits.
Thank you
Yeah,
so much.
you're
I've been
welcome.
working really hard on them.
Yeah. Same.
Fabulous balls.
Thank you. Yeah.
High and tight.
Oh, interesting. It's cold in here. 'Cause
Okay.
normally they hang pretty low. Okay. Yeah.
Okay, so but when was your like I don't know how to say like real
My first
like hook up.
Yeah.
Like you're gay, I'm gay, we're gonna fuck. Or I'll suck your dick or like whatever.
yeah, I think my first again because like I lived in LA. I slowly came out. One of my best friends here became friends with this older guy. So I was probably 25 to 7, 25
Yeah.
in that age. And he was in his mid to late 30s, if not maybe 40s.
Okay.
So it's kind of that cliche story of us like a daddy-ish.
Yeah.
And I never really thought I had daddy issues because usually that's, the story where it stems from of like wanting this. And because I think about
Yeah.
it now and I'm like, I'm not into like a daddy. I don't want to
Yeah.
be a daddy. I want like a partner and like an equal.
But sometimes it's just experience.
Yeah, no, and it was my experience. Like this is just how it ended up being my first.
No,
Like,
but I'm saying also like that you look at somebody
Oh,
who's
yeah,
older
yeah.
and you're like, oh, that guy probably knows what the fuck he's doing.
Totally.
Yeah.
Absolutely. There's all different types.
Yeah.
Some want to be taken care of. There's all different levels. But this just worked out that it was like kind of a safe place. Like I met him. He was hot. He was successful. He liked me. He lived right around the corner, so I remember the first time like we were at his house with a big group of people and it like dwindled down to just me and him. And
I love when that happens.
And it just kind of like happened. And then there was like my first like sexual experience. I remember he tried to fuck me and I just was like not prepared for that yet.
Yeah.
I was just like, whoa. And then like we dated, we dated for a couple months and like went to New York and like it became like I was like I don't like this. I don't like the way he's hot, he's amazing, but I don't like how I feel like his little possession toy.
Yeah.
Because it didn't feel like partnership and equal. Like I was like, again, I'm like 20-some, struggling actor, model, whatever I'm doing at that time.
Yeah.
And I didn't feel right. I was just like, I don't want you buying me stuff. I don't want to do this.
Yeah.
And so, it ended great, and he's cool and like whatever, but that was my first, and it was in the shower. It was like the water doesn't, it's like, it was like the friction of the water, and it was just like he had a big dick, and I was like, I'm not ready for this.
Water always like seems like a better idea than it actually is. Like it's fun, it's nice for foreplay.
Yeah.
But like fucking in water, it's like
the friction,
horrible. Awful and so upsetting, because every movie that you see it in, you're like, this looks so romantic and amazing.
Showgirls.
Literally, Johnny.
Like that's what everyone thinks of first, is that Showgirls moment when she's
with
lashing
the shoulders
around.
Yeah, I'm like, it doesn't look fun, but it looks like something's happening.
Right, something's happening,
and it's not. It's like impossible. To move that way. Okay, and so now I feel like you are so good at flirting, and like we literally were just outside and this guy walks by and Johnny's like, what's up? And I was like, do you know him? Like, when did you get like the confidence in yourself to be like, I'm gonna start hitting on people and like they're gonna like it?
I love that. I wasn't even hitting on him.
Yes, you were.
No, I wasn't.
Okay, you were just being Michigan
friendly. He made
friendly?
eye contact with me, and I just was being polite and saying, what's up? I've again, big family, outgoing, big personalities. My mom knows everybody. Everyone loves my dad. He's such a sweetheart. Like, I just have always been outgoing. Okay. And so I just always been a ham. I always just love to entertain, to just be, the center of attention, or not, like, share it. Yeah. But no, I just always am. And I feel like, coming from the Midwest, where people acknowledge each other and say thank you and open doors and are polite and acknowledge other people's existence. Yeah. Like, moving to some place like LA, where it's not necessarily like that as much. It's kind of like, people are like, whoa, you're like really nice. And I'm like, yeah. I mean, I guess if I'm really nice for LA, but like, you go back to Michigan and that's how people are. Yeah. And so
I've noticed that too, though, that people like, even like Uber drivers, I'm like, oh my God, how was your day? Like, whatever. And I'll talk to them and they're like, oh my God, like, you're so nice. Yeah. And I'm like, wait, I thought New Yorkers were supposed to be like assholes. Like,
yeah. I mean, New York, I feel like people are even, sure, they have like a harder edge, but like, you're in the mix. Yeah. And you're on the ground and you're in the store, like, you're all over the place with people, and there's like more interaction. I mean, even just now when we were waiting for the leaf blower to stop, I went to Starbucks and the woman in front of me, she made a comment, the computer broke down, and I was like, free coffee for everyone. And the lady turned and she's like, I know, right? She's like, I just have the best luck. And it just like led to this convo. And immediately I just started to feel better. And like, she started to feel better.
That's scientifically a thing? Totally. Speaking to strangers and having like just small fun interactions.
Oh, I would imagine.
Like, increases your serotonin or something
like that. Makes sense. I mean, we're all energy, and we're just sharing energy. And even the girl behind the counter cheered up, and like, her and I had a fun interaction when it was our turn. Yeah. And it was just like,
it's my favorite thing.
Mine too.
Also, just like making a joke and like a bunch of people you don't know. I mean, I guess that's why I'd fucking do stand up.
Totally.
But out in the world stand up, that like they're not getting paid for a ticket or whatever, and you're just like, free coffee, and they're like, you're hilarious.
Totally. Yeah, you did it the other day at dinner with our waiter, and he was like, you totally stumped him. You're like, yeah.
But okay, so you weren't hitting on that man. However, I have seen some correspondences of yours.
Oh, okay.
Flirting ones.
Right.
Sexting, I would say.
Okay.
How do you get so good at that? Because it was like, Tim showed it to me.
Thanks, Tim.
I know. Literally, I had Christian on and I brought something up and he was like, how do you know about that? I was like, Tim.
Yeah, Tim's a big mouth.
Yeah, but he doesn't do it to like be a bad person.
No, he doesn't do it.
He literally was like, look at this amazing conversation that Johnny's having right now. And I was like, I'm horny.
Yeah.
Like, how do you get so good at?
I think also I'm like very witty.
Yes.
And very quick. And so, it's just like wordplay and just like they'll say something and then you just find a play on that, and it's just like, it's not blatantly like, I want you to fuck me or whatever. I'm never like, well,
yeah,
I mean, I
no,
guess,
like there was something.
I mean, sometimes it does go there, but
there was something where he was like, oh, I wish, something sexual, and you just said like, we could make that happen.
or something about like
yeah. Yeah, he said more of the stuff, but your responses were just like,
it's again just fun convo to me. It's just like, it's so funny. Like so many people, when it comes to puns or captions or things, they hit me up and they're like, I need your help with this post, or I need this. Like,
I know I fucked up.
I know you you literally texted me and then you're like, I already posted it.
Well, it was like
you gave me 3
it was like
seconds.
15 minutes.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Okay. I was doing something.
So no advice to anybody who's not naturally good at it.
Yeah, there's really no teaching for me. That I don't know. I feel like I just like have that talent or gift or whatever of like being funny and clever and witty and quick and silly and sexy and
saying what like you actually want to happen.
Yeah.
Yeah.
In a way that's not like, well, also like
in a way that's not too explicit.
Yeah, and also I'm not ever one to like push or poke or prod like something that I know isn't going somewhere. Like I'll never like approach, like I don't go after straight guys. Like I don't do things like that. Like they can approach me and then I'm like, okay, so then this guy's down. But you just like know your playing ground and you're just like, okay, this is where it can go based off of this.
I'm going to say to listeners who are bad at it, maybe find a friend like Johnny or look on the internet for conversations of other people flirting and sexting that like gets you excited, and then maybe just like take notes. Like I don't know, we could make that happen.
I was just about to say, is there like a Cliff's Notes that we need to write, like a book of like,
maybe
this could be something.
But then I also worry about like, how people always ask their friends like, what should I text this guy back or whatever, and then I'm like, but essentially they're texting your friends now. And then when you get in person, like you're not that person.
Totally.
So.
Totally.
So maybe like learn to be that person.
When I get asked, there's so many times that I'll get asked and be like, oh my God, what should I reply? And I'm like, quickly like this and this. And they're like, I cannot say that.
Yeah.
I'm like, you have no idea how they will, like they'll love it. Trust me. And then they'll either be too afraid or they'll do it. And then the person will love it.
Yeah.
It's so funny.
Yeah. If they cannot say that because they're like, oh my God, that's like, I'm worried about their response, maybe try it because their response could be good. But if it's like, I would not say that, like I never would say that and I don't want to do that, don't send that text.
Yes, exactly. Exactly. How wild is sexting and texting? It's like,
I'm so bad at it.
It's just so funny that that's a thing, like mobile devices and like, even like guys would be like, let's FaceTime. I'm like, that's just, I don't want to do that. I've done it before, but it's like, I don't want to jerk off in front of the camera with you.
That pictures on Instagram can go away, like Snapchat, which I did not know.
Yeah.
So if that opens up a whole world of sexting for you guys where you want to send nudes, tasteful or otherwise,
send them.
You can set it to just like it disappears after the first view.
In Instagram and DMs, there's like 3 settings. It's like allow once.
Yeah, this isn't on the grid.
Yeah, allow one. Yeah, no, this is not on the grid. The allow once, allow replay, and then stay in chat. So depending on the person,
Yeah.
I'll never like allow once. I'll let them enjoy more than once.
Nice of you.
Yeah.
See, I haven't even sent a full nude ever to even a boyfriend. It's always like bottom of the tits to like the top of the pubic area.
Love that. Like a torso.
Just a torso. And also no arms because I hate them. You're getting statue.
Love that.
Yeah.
That's all you need.
But I'm so bad at sexting still. Like I haven't seen Ben in like 10 days that I texted him, I'm going to fuck you on Thursday. Like they're just
love that.
That.
Like that's amazing.
Okay.
Also, I mean, look, this is your man of how many years?
Like 9 or 10.
Yeah, he's your man of 9 years.
Yeah.
I mean, look, I recently kind of started talking to someone and I've pulled out some cards like that out of the blue. I'm like, woke up with like a raging heart on and like, I wish it was inside you or something like that.
Yeah.
Just like to be silly and blunt and stupid.
Yeah.
And they're like, whoa, okay, all right, good morning to me. You know?
No, we were on the
But
phone
I love
too.
that.
And I was like, I want to see your dick and do stuff with it.
Love that.
And he goes, and I want to see your butt and boobs and vagina. And I said, and he goes, and do stuff with them.
Love do stuff with it. That's so good. I might use that one. See?
Okay, yeah. No, because that's just
That's a
totally.
good one. It's like
that's
a general.
That's me.
Yeah, that is you.
That's who I am.
It's me too.
Okay, great. I think these are really good tips, you guys.
I do too. Would you buy the book?
Yeah, let us know. We'll write it.
Yeah.
We could also send us your
Yeah.
like hottest sex.
That's a good idea.
I would love to see them, and maybe I'll read them.
That'd be a fun episode.
And it can be totally anonymous
Or not.
or not. Yeah.
Yeah, if you're looking for like Shelly from Nebraska.
Yeah. If you
says-
want the credit, please.
Yeah.
We want to give it to you.
Yes.
You could also say that to somebody. I want to give it to you. No.
Yeah.
Eh,
Give what? It.
your penis.
Well, if you have one.
When you are dating, are you a monogamous person?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, I am now. I mean, there were times in the past where it was just kind of fishy and like, for whatever reasons, either like they cheated on me, so I retaliated, or
Yeah.
Whatever the reason, at that place in my life, yeah, I have. But now at 45, it's like I actually even my last serious boyfriend probably wasn't till like 8 or 9 years ago. It was like a long term, and it was like traumatizing and like very.
Why?
It was just like very, very dysfunctional and very,
Okay.
yeah, it was just bad. It was so bad. It was like, cops got called many times because of this.
What?
And yeah, it was like a whole thing. So I vowed to myself, like, this isn't like,
Yeah.
even while it was happening, I was like, what the hell is going on? Like,
Yeah.
how is this my situation with this
Totally.
person? And I just was like, I'm not going to be in a relationship like this ever again, which led to 8 years of not being in a relationship. But in that period, it was like very much like work on me, so that when it comes, or if it comes, I'm like the best person I could be.
Totally.
So now in my life, it's just like, yeah, I want to have like a family. I want to like have adventures and like memories together. Not to say that if an opportunity came about while we were in like, Greece, and like some hot was like, into us,
Yeah.
but with his consent and
Yeah,
be like
yeah,
a
yeah.
conversation that, because sex is sex and it could be fun. But like, yeah, I mean, like I like the idea of like a monogamous, this is my man and no one else's.
Yeah. It's so interesting because I was with two couples the other day that like gay couples. One is monogamous, one is like the most open ever. And they were both just like, I could never do what you do.
To the opposite, yeah.
Yes.
Totally.
Yeah.
And I know people who have opened and then closed
Yep.
their relationships.
Totally.
They're like, this isn't for us. Or,
Yeah.
like so many people I know are just in open relationships. And
Or people who like are just like, oh, we're going to invite people in, but with us together all the time.
Oh yeah, there's so many rules and so many things. And again, I feel like communication, open honesty, like boundaries, follow those and you'll be great. But there's times when it backfires.
I also just think it's not funny, haha, but when you got cheated on by a girl, you're like, well, that's it, I'm out. And then you get cheated on by a guy and you're like, I'm going to keep dating you, but cheat on you as well.
Exactly. Yeah, it's like, I'm going to cheat on you too.
Yeah. And that never resolves itself in like a good way.
Never. I mean, and in the end too, I wonder back if it's like, was I retaliating, or was it just like, okay, well, and his excuse was, well, I thought that you were cheating on me. And I was like, I haven't cheated on you.
Yeah.
And now like, and then like eventually I did. And then he was like mad at me. And I was like, sure, you have every right to be mad at me. Like I shouldn't have done that. But like, your spade's a spade, and like we shouldn't be in this relationship, and like I tried for like maybe 2 years to break up with him, and it was just like impossible. I mean, just for many reasons,
Yeah.
So
I know. I wish breaking up was easier for people. I was telling Tim this the other day because there was this meme that was like, has your stomach ever hurt so much that you do this? And it was like 2 pictures of people on the toilet just like leaning over themselves, like on the floor or whatever. And I showed it to him and I was like, isn't this funny? And he was like, oh my God, that happens to me all the time. And I was like, when I was with my ex, I had been thinking about breaking up with him for like 6 months or something, because I found a message that either he was trying to cheat on me, or like, I also found condoms in his backpack when he got back from Europe. I was like, I'm pretty sure you did cheat on me.
Right.
But again, like, so many things are like tied up, and like, we have all the same friends, and like, I already like planned my life with you, and like, I love your family. Like, what am I gonna fucking do? And then one night I was at his house, and it was one of those nights that like we had been fighting, and I fucking hated him. And then I got a stomach ache that put me in that pose. And I don't talk to God ever. I don't even know if I believe in God. I usually say the universe or whatever. But I have my head between my legs and I go, God, if you take this stomach pain away from me, I promise I will break up with him tomorrow. And I did.
Amazing.
Yeah.
You just took the biggest
And my
shit of
stomach
your
got
life
literally
and, like, dumped him.
Yeah, 2
Perfect.
dumps. A double dumping.
A double dump.
Yeah.
That's so epic.
Yeah, I want to do an episode on breakups because I don't, like, it sucks.
Yeah.
It really, really sucks.
Yeah, and I've seen like so many harsh ones that are just like evil, violent, messy, and then I've seen ones that are like, you know, this isn't working, and like people who have kids and a family, and they're like, we're gonna now coexist separately, and they're like, and they're happier.
Yeah.
You know, it's like they're better parents, they're better individuals in life. It's like you can either, it's like, it's all choices. So it's like, you know, you choose your life. You choose how you want to go about each day and the energy you put towards it. So anyone who's going to like hate someone or, you know, ruin someone for leaving them, they have a lot of shit they need to work on and deal with.
Yeah.
Because like, why be with someone who you can't fucking stand or can't stand you?
Totally.
Just because of A, B, and C. It's like, just, this is our life, you know?
Yeah. And you're like allowed to have contentious breakups, like they happen. But like,
totally.
If you're thinking while you're in the relationship, if I wasn't with this person anymore, I would hate them.
Right.
Like, you don't love that person.
No.
At all.
Yeah.
You don't even probably like them.
Yeah. Have we talked about the talent wristband, or should we at all? Like,
should
just
we?
like, that's a really funny, magical story.
Okay, yeah.
Like, I literally have told this story probably. When did we go out?
We went out on Wednesday.
Oh, it was last week.
We went out on a Wednesday.
We went out on a Wednesday, which is like
I'm wild
big
now.
big deal.
Yeah.
And H&M had a party, like a pre-Coachella downtown LA festival.
Yeah.
And I got invited, and I invited Timmy and Remy. And literally, it was the most magical, chaotic night. Like, off to a start of pulling up downtown to a line that was the length of a football field.
Yeah.
And us searching for the VIP line that
in
didn't
quotes.
exist.
Yeah.
Literally didn't exist.
I think everybody was VIP.
Oh, 100%.
It was crazy.
100%.
And yeah, there was like a 45-minute line, which...
It had to have been longer.
You think?
100. From beginning to where we finally got the wristband was definitely an hour and a half. I mean, because we got there and we were thinking we were going to make Robin.
Yeah.
And Robin went on at whatever time. Like,
yeah, we watched Robin from the parking lot through some bars.
Like through some prison chain walls.
Yeah.
And then just as I was about to say, fuck this, I texted everyone from the company. I was like, please come get us, which I'm sure everyone was doing.
Literally.
And, you know, it was like either embrace or abort.
Yeah.
And I was like seconds away from being like, you guys, fuck this. I'm out of here. You could stay. I'm leaving.
Yeah.
And then...
Well, I also just said absolutely not. Because I had already, earlier in the week, had a party I was supposed to go to, was all dressed up. Literally, it was like getting stood up for prom. The people that invited me, they didn't have their phones.
Oh.
So like there was no like, you should come now or whatever.
Right.
So I'm sitting there with Tim's husband, Clayton. We're both dressed up for like our little date night or whatever. And we're just like,
what?
Oh, like the limo's not coming.
Right.
They asked us out as a joke.
Josie Grossi.
Josie Grossi.
Oh, no.
We're going to get egged.
Oh, no.
And we just went to sleep, whatever. But I was determined.
So, yeah, you're like...
I was like, I need to, use this outfit and also just like do the thing that I said I was going to do.
Yeah.
Like I need to finish. I
yeah.
can't.
Yeah, we needed the climax.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And so, right, we're in the parking lot.
And we're getting closer. But we keep hearing that the fire marshal has shut it down and that no one's getting in.
And then this angel from the universe, just like comes out. And I think he was into you or something. There was just something about you.
He literally walked right to me.
He walked right to you.
Yeah.
He had a talent wristband and he said, "Do you want this?" And you were like, "Yeah." And he was like, "Use it responsibly."
Yeah, use it.
But like responsibly. He was like a very like soft parenting.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. I immediately put it on your wrist.
Yeah, because I could slip it on.
And it was huge.
And then I went into I'm the talent mode.
Yep. Manager, publicist, agent, actor, star,
Who
celebrity.
is she?
Yeah,
I don't know.
Yeah, she's elusive.
But she's talent at this festival.
Yeah, and she's outside in line and she shouldn't be.
Yeah. And then I was like, you guys, like, I go up to the front. I'm like, can I just get my friends in or whatever? They say no. We end up having to wait for the rest of the line.
Right. Which was maybe like
10 more minutes.
10 more minutes.
Fine.
We were so
But
close.
we're in. We're excited. Then we get to Doechie's about to perform. Mm-hmm. There's like another
mob.
massive line of like 500 people.
Because there was just a fight inside.
So I like go up to like this door guy and he goes, "What are you doing out here?" And I was like, "I just came out to like get my friends."
Yeah.
Like he's like, "You shouldn't be out here if you're talent." Like, what the fuck?
Yeah.
And I was like, "But nobody will let me in." He goes, "Okay, well, you should talk to that door guy." Right. And then he like lets me go through and I hear all these influencers going, "Why'd you let her through?"
Right.
And he goes, "She's talent."
Yeah.
And in my head, I'm like,
yeah, you are.
I am.
Yeah, this is talent.
This is my life now.
Yeah.
Talk to that guy. I'm like, got locked out. He goes, "Where is your badge?" I said, "I left it backstage.
Yeah.
I came to get my
Yeah.
friends." He's like, "Okay, go to the exit. Talk to this guy named Gilbert. Tell him that George sent you. If he can't get you in, then like, I'm so sorry. There's nothing I can do." So I text you two, Tim and Johnny, and I'm like, "Come meet me." I think you were just like having
meanwhile,
fun.
I went in the back and I was just like, I'm
you were
just
like
going to
having a
embrace
blast.
being out here with everybody.
And Tim texts me. He's like, "We're by the tables. It's fun." And I was like, "No, you don't understand.
Yeah.
Like I have an in now.
Yeah.
Just come find me at the bar."
So Timmy beelines it and
So
leaves
he-
me.
yes.
Doesn't say anything. I just see him walk away. I was like, okay.
But it was smart because then I took him to Gilbert and I was like, "Let's get in." We get in. I drop him inside. I call you. I tell you to meet me. We go to the other door
This was
guy.
the move. We went to the back door ramp, like loading dock.
But the Gilbert had his back turned, so he didn't see me get
With the
two
new-
people in. Yeah, so I went to
love
another
that.
door guy.
Yeah.
And it comes out of me so naturally. I go, "Can we get him in? He's my stylist." Meanwhile, I am wearing a Forever 21 set that I got it out of the closet. I'm like, "Johnny, I'm so sorry to do this to your portfolio."
But we got in.
We got in, but then there's cops waiting at the top of the ramp where I'd just been. And they're like, "No, it's at capacity." And I go, "I'm talent."
Yeah.
And he goes, "Ugh, okay, are you going backstage?" I go, "Yeah." He
Yeah.
goes, "Does he have the same pass?" I go, "Yeah." Doesn't make
No
a show.
pass. And that's
We're in.
Yeah, we beeline it.
Fabulous.
Yeah. It's not even crowded inside.
Made it
We're
in
like,
time for all of the
all of her
best
set.
Doechie
Yeah,
songs.
Literally. Danced our butts off. And cut to, it turns out that I know the person who supposedly got in the fight. I
No
talked to like
way.
2 days after, and they were just like, it was like between them and a security guard who it was a woman who totally got taken down. Like it was like all like a crazy thing. It wasn't even a fight. It was just kind of like she got assaulted and like nothing happened from it. But that's what the fight was.
Okay.
Yeah. But yeah, it was so magical. It was like such a fun.
It was.
I'm glad we didn't give up.
Okay, so I'm going to tie it back into sex and relationships. Never give up and fake it till you make it.
Now with orgasms. Isn't it funny how guys can't fake an orgasm?
They can if they're wearing a condom.
Right. Who wears a condom? I'm kidding. Yeah, I guess you're right.
But I've also noticed that people have been faking it less. Like
Right.
guys.
Guys have been faking it less?
Like they'll just be like, "I'm done."
Right.
And then you're like, "Cool.
Right.
Now you know how I feel."
Definitely. Especially like there's like, alcohol, drugs get into play.
Yeah.
And they're like, I'm not going to come.
It's not you.
So yeah, it's me.
Let's go to sleep.
Yeah.
But no, I was more saying also fake it till you make it when it comes to like sexting or like confidence or whatever.
Yeah. I mean, no regrets. I have a tattoo that says it. It's like, give it a shot.
Yeah.
You know,
The worst thing they can say is no.
Fuck off. Yeah.
And then leave them alone.
Yeah. And obviously.
Yeah.
Yeah. Learn how to read the signs, but like, you got to try.
There was also something the other day that I just started watching that show, Dying for Sex.
Oh, yeah. Michelle Williams.
Yeah. And I was like, this is so good because it's based on a podcast.
True story. Yeah.
And a podcast too, that like the friend of the woman who died like hosts and started or whatever. And I was like, oh, I should like ask her to do How Come. And then I was like, oh, she's probably doing so much press right now. Like, don't even throw your hat in the ring or whatever. And I was like, why would I not?
Literally.
The woman responds immediately.
Amazing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Come on.
I'm that way right now about like there's all these influencers who like just message random hotels and like I'm a travel,
Yeah.
you know, and I'm like, I need to do that.
Yeah.
And they get like free trips and free this and free that. I'm like, I need to be doing that.
No, it's crazy. Like the way that you like think about yourself and the way that you speak about yourself
100%.
becomes real.
100%. Your words hold power.
Like Clayton the other day when I told him, I was like, oh, I that got the girl is going to be on the podcast. And he was like, that's awesome. And I was like, I don't know. Like,
Right.
He was like, why are you negging
Intrusive
yourself?
thought. Yeah.
Yeah.
It's interesting.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's like I've gotten really good at catching that. I like before it even comes out, I'm like, nope, spin it.
Nope.
Yeah. Flip it. I deserve that.
Yeah. And now you are having really hot sex.
Yeah. And just like at a cool place in life. Like, you know, quit styling, really. Still in the costume world, but doing the other things that I've always wanted to do, like writing and directing and just fun stuff.
Oh, I also had a question too, just about costuming, because you worked on Legendary.
Yeah.
And we talked about Legendary one episode.
Cool. With who?
Sid Extravaganza.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. And I was wondering, because like the costumes were great. Were you ever involved in ballroom at all, or like?
Not physically before the show.
Okay.
I knew about the world and the culture.
Yeah.
But Legendary was my first, and I had friends in houses and like,
Okay.
you know, for moving to LA and meeting people, and a couple of actually ended up on the show, so that was really cool.
Oh, unreal.
But it wasn't until Legendary till I was like fully immersed, and I become Uncle Johnny. They all, because it's a family, it's a house. So it's like my mother, my father, my sister, and I was owe it to all of them. They called me Uncle Johnny, which I loved.
I only found out about it from another show you were on, America's Next Top Model,
Oh, okay.
when they pulled out Benny Ninja.
Yeah, that show was just so over the top and extravagant and fun. So fun.
And Top Model, fun? Do it again?
No.
Okay. We're going to talk to my friend Sarah Hartshorn, who was a contestant, and she will have a lot more to say. She just wrote a book about
Sarah
it. Sarah
definitely will dish the tea.
Stay tuned.
Yeah.
Yeah. She was one of their first plus size girls, so she has more to say than
Johnny.
most. Yeah.
Cool.
Okay. Before we go, you are set to do your first Fire Island trip.
Yeah.
this
Oh my
summer.
God. Great
How
ending.
are you feeling?
I am so excited. I mean, I've always wanted to go. It's such an iconic place.
Yeah.
I tend to get a little overwhelmed in like massive gay events and settings. Like, I don't do a circuit party. I did one once.
What's a
A
circuit
circuit party is just kind of like, you know, in a warehouse and like leather harnesses and jock straps. There's like men shirtless and sweaty, all on drugs, like, you know, house, like just crazy music, and like it just gives me anxiety.
Okay.
But I was like, I gotta like try it.
Yeah.
And I did, and I was like, yep, I hate it.
Okay.
So events like that can give me anxiety, but yeah, I've the group of guys I'm going with are amazing. The history of Fire Island is amazing. The celebration of self there is just so, you're just like, you are who you are, and everyone accepts you. And it's the 50th anniversary
Oh my God.
of just like the festivities there. So I think we're going to like dress in drag and get on the ferry and like do the whole thing. And
do
like,
an underwear party.
yeah, Tim was telling me about all the like list of things, and I was like, oh my God, an underwear party? Like, so immediately I'm like planning what underwear and like all the things. So I'm excited to embrace it and just have fun.
I'm excited for you.
Yeah.
I always wanted to be invited, but alas, When Tim was going, he was in his I have gay friends and girls are not allowed phase.
Right.
But now we're all integrated.
Right.
So
Girls are allowed.
Girls are allowed. I was invited by a straight couple, so maybe I'll see you there.
Okay.
And
That'd be fun.
Yeah, I'm really
In our
excited
underwear.
for you though.
Me too.
I think it'll be a blast.
It's going to be a blast, you know.
Yeah.
Going into it with just kind of like no expectations other than just
if you don't want to watch a sex show, don't watch a sex show.
Don't go into the black
Don't go into the black tent.
Curtain, the black tent. Stay away from the tent.
The black
tent. Tattoo, I never leave the black tent.
Yeah. Johnny, this has been so much fun.
So fun.
Can you tell everybody where they can find you online?
Yeah, you can find me on Google. Just kidding.
Yeah.
My Instagram, J Wujek, JWUJEK. I dabble in TikTok.
Yes.
I think that's just my name, Johnny Wujek. And yeah, I mean, Instagram's my go-to. So just like say hi.
Yeah.
You know, give you some quick one-liners.
And lots of abs to be seen.
Right. I like to show off on Instagram these days. I got in shape and it's fun.
It's fun.
Yeah.
I think that's why the talent guy came by.
Right. He's like, wait a minute.
Shirt open.
Oh, yeah. I did, huh?
Matching H&M set.
Right.
He's the guy.
I was in a look.
Yeah. I just have to ask you something, which I have to ask everybody after a sexual experience.
Okay.
Johnny Wujek, did you finish?
I did.
Okay, great. Thank you so much for coming.
Yeah. You probably wouldn't know because I was wearing a condom.
Yeah. And jeans.
And jeans.
He's had jeans on this whole time. He's never knew. I finished too, and I had a blast. Thank you again for being here, and thank you for listening. We'll see you next time on How Come. Bye.
Bye.
It's not you, it's me. I try so hard to finish honestly. They say you'll know when you go all the way from A right down to O. Oh no, I think that I've still got a ways to go. Oh, I'm sick of this and I have got to know. How come? How come? How come I can't achieve? How come I can't achieve? I'm rolling up my sleeves. I'm rolling up my sleeves. Oh baby, I believe these guests can help. 'Cause I can't do it by myself. I wanna jizz